Hello, I'm Dr. Lori Kay. I'm CEO of Awakening the Successful Woman Association. And today, I want to talk to you about having it all versus being in survival mode. For a long time, I thought I had it all. I was working, I had kids, I had what I thought was everything. Until one day I realized I wasn't keeping up with my own life. This was a horrible discovery for me. I was in survival mode. I had lists that I couldn't keep up with anymore at work. I wasn't being the very best mom I could have been. And it seemed to me that all I did was take care of my lists, take care of my kids, fall into bed at night, and start again the next day. This was my life. Pretty soon, it affected my work, my relationships on a personal level, and my kids as well. So I'm not sure where you are in life, but if you feel like some of my story rings true for you, perhaps you're in survival mode or heading to survival mode. Now today I want to talk to you about what causes survival mode. Mainly, it's the pressure we're all faced with as women. We're doing more. We're working more hours. Our standard of parenting, if you are a parent, is much higher and greater than it used to be. And we have more chores, be it that we're taking care of our parents, be it that there's more to take care of because we have more expectations with technology, or just more things to do around work and home. Our lists are never ending. We're expected to keep house like Martha Stewart, to be a perfect parent, wife, daughter, friend, and we're supposed to work longer hours, and on top of that, we're supposed to look beautiful at all times and well-groomed. Ever run to the grocery store in your sweats and your hair up in a ponytail or uncombed with no makeup on? You certainly hear about it from somebody. Think about the way you talk to your really good friends. For example, have you ever called a good friend and said, "Hey, how you doing?" And they say, "I'm cooked." You? And you say, "Yeah, I'm cooked too." And then the conversation leads to all the expectations and lists of things that you have to get through, and the conversation is ended with, "Yeah, well, I better go get started on my never-ending list, which I'll never get through today." What a terrible way to live. That's survival mode. And I'm here to tell you that there are better ways to live than in survival mode. And you can get off that wheel of just going through your lists, taking care of your chores, falling into bed, and repeating the next day. There is a much better way. It's called lifestyle balance. In order to achieve lifestyle balance, you need three things: work, love, and play. Now, all of you know what those are, but I'm going to go through a little bit of what I'm talking about so you understand what I mean by these issues. So let's start with work. Right now, you probably, because of technology, which is both a blessing and a curse, have too many emails to deal with. Your deadlines, whether they're self-imposed because you own your own business or you have a boss, are getting shorter and shorter. Everybody wants everything yesterday. The expectations you have of yourself are probably that you should be able to keep up with this incredibly ridiculous list. And for many of us, we're trying to get ahead, build a business or build a nest egg, whatever it is that you're trying to do. That is always in the back of our mind. We have to succeed. We need to get ahead. Here's some solutions. Try and set up an optimal workday. What I mean by this is, for me personally, I'm a morning person, so my best focus for the day is in the morning. If you're an afternoon person, that's okay. Your best focus is in the afternoon. But whenever your best time of focus is, when you're most alert, that's when you should be doing your biggest core pieces of work, be it a project, be it creating something new. Set up your day so that you're doing your best work at your optimal time. and then deal with all the other issues around that time. Set up boundaries. It's okay, believe it or not, to say no once in a while. If you're at a point where you're on overload at work, either explain it to your boss, and I'm sure if you explain how many projects this boss has given you, they'll understand that you can't take on one more, or you need to prioritize and find out which one has to be done first. If you work for yourself, boundaries can get even more complicated because how do you set your own boundaries? Well, again, look at your priorities, figure out what projects are important to you right now that you need to get off the ground, and put the other ones on the side for a little bit. Have realistic expectations of what you can and cannot do. Getting through 20 things in one day, for most of us, is very unrealistic. Try setting up your expectations so that you can meet them. Lastly, give up being superwoman. Most of us aren't superwomen. As a matter of fact, in my 25 years of doing this, I've never met anyone who is superwoman. I've met women who do it all the time until they crash and burn. That's not superwoman. Don't be one of those women who thinks that they need to do it all. They need to be the overachiever, because at the end of the day, those are the women who are crashing and burning and ending up in my private practice. Let's move on to love. When I first heard that the 3 things to lifestyle balance were work, love, and play, love was the one I barked at the most. I don't have time for that. I barely have time to think about myself, let alone love. I started to think about what love meant. And I started to remember the very first time I thought I was in love. What a great feeling it was. For me, it was like walking on a cloud. I loved it. If you're single and you don't have time to go out and date right now in your own mind, that's okay. I'm not saying go out there and date. What I am saying is if you need to take a break from it right now, take a break, but be open to the possibility that someone might walk in your life. Don't be completely closed down and say, I just don't have time for this. Choose instead to say, I'm on a break. I'm not actively pursuing dating, but I'm open to the possibilities. You never know what the universe has in store for you. Now, if you're in a committed relationship, are you putting any effort into it? Do you make time for your partner? Again, it's a big deal to have the time, but you've got to make some time. It can be as simple as going over one evening and just hugging and kissing them. Whatever you decide to do, put a little bit of effort into your committed relationship. Let your partner know that you still think about them and that you still love them, because having that person support you in life is critical to having lifestyle balance. Now, there are also other types of love which I know and feel are super important. Family love is absolutely essential. If you haven't taken time to connect with someone in your family who typically is your cheerleader and your supporter, make time. You can phone them, go out for coffee, have them over, it doesn't matter. But make time every now and then to get together with them. Number 1, you're going to feel great being with someone who supports you. Number 2, they're going to feel great. And so the relationship will continue to blossom. The same with friends. Everyone has certain friends who make them feel great, and everyone has friends who need someone to make them feel great. Don't neglect your friendships. Now, time is always a critical issue, but if you carved out a half an hour or an hour a week to connect with a friend for a coffee, that's not so bad. We can all find that time. The last type of love is a bit different. It's from pets. Now, if you're not a pet lover, that's perfectly okay. But if you are a pet lover, I want you to know that studies are now showing people who own pets and get that unconditional love from a pet actually have less stress in their life than people who don't have pets. So, If you've been considering getting a pet, or if you have a pet, make sure that you're spending some time with your pet, or go get a pet that you adore and find out how wonderful it can be. Again, pets aren't for everybody, and that's okay. The last area for balance is play. When I looked at it, I thought, does playing Lego with my kids count? I realized it didn't. Grown-up play is what we are talking about. So that can be going out with people, it could be having friends over. You might want to start a hobby, or go to movies, read a great book. Whatever it is that you want to do to relax and have fun is what you need to do. Do you need to do it every day? It would be great if you could, but the reality is our lives are very demanding. Maybe once a week, maybe twice a week. You decide what works for you. But take some time and think about these three areas: work, love, and play. Which area do you need to focus on? Perhaps you need a little bit of focus in all of them. Whatever area you need to focus on, pick one issue in one area to start with, and make a commitment now to yourself to work on it. It can be something really small, such as I suggested before, giving your partner a hug and telling them how much you love and care about them. That could do it. Make plans to go out with someone for a cup of coffee, or invite someone over to your house if you don't feel like going out. Maybe go and get a new novel that you want to read. Give yourself permission to read a half an hour before bedtime every night. Whatever it is, make one commitment to yourself now to start to make a change. When you do that, you'll begin to see over time, not right away, it's not a magical solution to make one change, but over time, you're going to see that time that you've taken will begin to have life flow just a little bit easier in that area of your life. And it will motivate you to perhaps look at the other areas or aspects of your life that need some rebalancing. Until next time, be the best version of you.